These include discussions on textiles, digital trade, and agriculture. We hope to conclude a mutually beneficial trade agreement at the earliest, hopefully in days, not in weeks. Pakistan has a competitive advantage in IT and is blessed with minerals and mining resources, including rare earth material. We are also creating a blockchain and crypto ecosystem. We welcome US investment, especially in energy, mining, technology, and startups. Eventually, a free trade agreement could be a game changer to boost our economic partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to highlight from the situation in our region, a region which, like others, cannot prosper if conflict persists. On Tuesday this week, I presided over a useful council session on strengthening peace and security through multilateralism and the peaceful settlement of disputes. Incidentally, we have to know that at point 9, the Security Council found a consensus resolution on the topic, which has been very rare in the current environment of the last 2 years. Jammu and Kashmir remains the close dispute between Pakistan and India. At the heart of this dispute lies adherence to the UN Security Council resolutions, reaffirming the right of self-determination of the Kashmiri people. India illegally served this right for 7 decades and continues with this terrible occupation. India's unilateral action in August 2019 was illegal and unilateral. Its actions to change demographics of this disputed region in contravention of the international law, including the Post-Geneva Convention, are shown in respect to who believes in justice, security, and peace. They use the term free word and Pakistan. This was pronounced of this. India interestingly for the Pakistan incident. India-Pakistan standoff dismay sparked by a familiar pattern of escalation and mutual distrust brought even dangerous close to the brink. Once again, crisis diplomacy, back-channel communications, international engagement, particularly from the United States and friendly countries, play a critical role in the escalation. We are thankful to the Trump, Secretary Buyo, and team for clearly taking the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. We are committed to sustaining it. Unlike in few days, you won't have heard any political guy saying that this is temporary, we are going to roll out the real one. No, we will in peace, and we never escalated as a fool. The only both sides of the ground in self-defense as the Charter, Article 51 of the UN Charter. We cannot and we must not continue to rely on luck last time. We need a sustainable architecture of peace culture. An architecture in the United States as both are and is not partner to both nations as a right role. As does not come to the end of service, our vision is not rooted in rivalry, but in regional connectivity. And we just see that since in July, after 2 years, I visited Uzbekistan. Afghanistan signed a railway connectivity project known as Trans-Afghan Railway. Our vision is not rooted as a rivalry, but in regional connectivity, in trade corridors, energy policies, climate resilience, and cultural exchange. Regional ceasefire will remain elusive until all parties, including India, commit to a dialogue and dispute resolution and under international norms. There will also be a trilateral between 7th and 10th of May. The claim of privacy, the claim of hegemony, the claim of connectivity provider is gone. In this regard, I won't go down. You can travel to the UN engagement. This includes strategic talk, but also military coordination, counterterrorism cooperation, and clear diplomacy that acknowledges both sides of engagement and potential business involvement. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between China is the most until 21st century. Operation people, portal influence, and corporate wealth, global development and prosperity. On the other hand, disasters being covered, the of gradation and secrecy for one. For this reason, we hope to see friendly relations with the US and we wish to build a top policy. Pakistan is the politics. We want Afghanistan that is peaceful, inclusive, and sovereign. However, the threat of terrorism on soil is real and it is Pakistan's security. While on 19th of February, after 4 years of almost stimulated between 2 countries every day, we discussed politics, discussed trade, discussed economy, discussed refugees, discussed everything under the sun, and the seals of the back. Instantly after the meeting, and both nations are alive. We will get to know whatever the 29th of April, everything has been implemented so far. That led to the confidence and that led to the signing of the Trans-Afghan Railway project on 17th July, when visited for us, Kabul, just for this purpose. We continue to work in Nerem and government to fulfill guarantees and documents. We have no ask, we want to fully cooperate with the neighbor. We have slightly old age, we are almost simple. So the only thing that this all should not be allowed against any country or to Pakistan for terrorist activities. This is the only ask. We deeply concerned by the way, but the only thing is the loss of over 58,000 innocent lives, predominantly women and children. And now we are watching last days hunger issue. We call for an immediate ceasefire, durable peace, and rebuilding of Gaza. A two-state solution is the only path to lasting peace. Pakistan declared foreign policy true solution with Palestine having its own homeland. A continuous, secure, stable, sovereign country for the Palestinians, with Al-Quds al-Sharif capital and pre-1967 its borders. On Iran, Pakistan declared regional and of sovereignty in Iran. We continue to support and enrich Iran for diplomacy. And I believe again, we are forming this as what an obligation. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I will conclude by underscoring that Pakistan seeks peace, stability. We see partnerships grounded in mutual trust and respect, and we stress the region and the entire world. Taking the time, which is here in very recently mentioned already, and enduring commitment to future where the both parties rise up to see and help shape. Thank you.
नाइट से फॉर सादा मीटिंग एंड एकाडमिक कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट कंट्रीब्यूशन में और दुनिया के अहम है अमेरिकी का सबका तरीका ने मुझे कैलेंडर का कामयाबी से आपको बिठाया है इस मीटिंग में मसला साइज है अमेरिका से क्या महिला ही हफ्तों में हम इकोनॉमिक और की साथ मतलब हम नायब में सब में काम
how it was diffused and what could happen now.
Well, I just only have to start the mutual trust and stop it. This one, it's not been great friend in India, reach out the capital, source narrative, and consent with Pakistan. They both which has been the Pakistan's involved in the bombing incident. But we see again, the end was a decade-old United Nations Security Council resolution. He constitutionally accepted the status of Jammu and Kashmir from Kashmir, removed from the UN, and declaring the dispute area of Kashmir, creating the self-determination. Just all the as union territories. This has to be honest purpose. We both have to also be ready to work for the terrorism. Against terrorism, we should join efforts, all the countries. And with the biggest victim, we have fought the world for this terrorism different time, fighters, lost lives. We had $102 million losses, economic losses, million. Our total debt and liability is $100 million. So nobody should tell us that we are not serious. And we ended terrorists. 23, 2017. If you see data, 24 crores in 2017. It was already Pakistan. I was Nazi. I was Nazi. I went there all hundreds of years. He was leadership at the time. He used to say it. General couldn't do his job, couldn't perish, did really couldn't start it. If this government, communism, Marxism, does the job, it would be great to the world history. We did it. We do it. Anyway, there was some subsequent mistakes. Obviously, I don't want to go into detailed, discussion because we have time. But then, the next government opened up the entire borders. 1,000 people came back. 100 criminals were released by the government, and they will recirculate. But we are still committed to just ready this and form a solid government.
Talking about the conflict in India, there was a political dialogue, obviously, more than a decade ago, were actually genuine discussions, just confidence building exchanges, and of course, that succeeded. Do you see that as a possibility again? Is there other steps, concrete steps Pakistan take to that dialogue that existed before?
Well, it takes 2 days. We can't we're winning. Then our operation in defense of our own, sovereignty, protection of sovereignty and total integrity. It was around 7.5 time. Around 8/28/2020, India is ready to see fire the unity. We never wanted to stop. We never really wanted to start. I think we would not have offered within 3 days an independent international investigation will come in. Number 1. Number 2, down the line, in the process, we proved that the state and violence of the west because our statement. The Pakistan attacked, 15 minutes installation, they attacked none at that time. So you see, Ms. Secretary you told me that I'm going to confirm the expense of the fire, and will be very soon a dialogue between the two of us. We will wait for that. So we are ready, obviously, but the dialogue has to be a composite dialogue. That will mean we will discuss we will discuss the Bermuda cascade. We have to have the whole spectrum of subjects to discuss on this. So we are ready.
You talked about terrorism, you talked about Pakistan's efforts to counter terrorism in your own territory, your own losses on your own citizens. The U.S. has designated a number of groups as terrorist organizations in Pakistan, and most recently this resistance front that initially took responsibility for this attack in Kashmir and withdrew that responsibility. What would you say to the U.S. in terms of how Pakistan is trying to shut down some of these designated groups, and is the government trying to call out their fundraising, for training and so on?
You see, it is obviously sovereign decision of United States, the designated TRF, there is no issue, and welcome if there is any evidence that it is involved. But linking it to the Lashkar-e-Taiba LET is wrong. That outfit was dismantled years ago by Pakistan. The actors were prosecuted, arrested, jailed, and the entire outfit of LET was destroyed and is no more there. So if it is an independent entity, those bodies they were involved, we have no picture that. Obviously, to see. But surely, I can guarantee you that this TRF has nothing to do with the Lashkar-e-Taiba LET, which has become defunct years ago. I remember when I was finance minister in 2013, it was all actions were taken at that time.
Did this come up today in your discussions with Secretary Rubio and the other officials?
Well, because we were affected with it. Surely, this is the sovereign right, and I'm sure they would have substantial evidence. They would not run the only India. India hadn't been to do it, but linking it to a defunct, outfit, that is unfair. We should all.
When you met with your American friends today, how would you compare your country's relationship with this administration compared to this administration? Would you say, is there any difference in how that's proceeding?
Having experienced around 30 years of this direct relationship, I think it's going back to the moment we had the relationship in the time. I was friends, that was the new administration, the most one. This is Pakistan, but why do I negotiate? This is happy with us. Senator Ki was, in the next round, if you recall, it's a relationship in President Mohan, former President Biden was vice president. So we actually, relationship we had, we have high and lows. I think we had to have some of this bilateral relationship, and it would be strategic, stable and perpetual. So that will be I think we appreciate the efforts of President Trump and as I said, to you in my small brief remarks. The reach of us, they were constantly interrupted, both sides, and so we had proactive diplomacy. The leaders and the media has written that the Indian narrative was totally misunderstood.
You talked about strengthening the U.S. relationship, but of course, things have changed since Bill Clinton was president, right? So your country now buys a huge amount of military hardware from China. You talked about balancing China and U.S. These two superpowers in its competition, but if you're buying most of your weapons from China, does that hamper your relationship with the U.S. to kind of cripple even the possibility of the future?
Sure. It's not always valid. That's good. You're such a strong. We should not see the relationship with the level of the country. It has to stand alone. And I did it. A great strategy between long lasting in front of US, So this is objective as both our government to feel where it utilize the acts. So it must not be conventional that those here gold over and there are low sum and maybe have a better partnership about the war on terrorism. All these phases we have seen, but we are to make it a strategy, economic policy and march. This is the
I was saying the core we should choose sides. And some people are now saying this is something akin to the core maybe different, but choosing on the US. So that's why I'm asking. It must be very difficult at times now because both countries kind of want you to choose.
Well, I think we have played the role of bridge between two countries and we can bring the two countries closer. And I think that will be win after the globe. You will get millions of people. And that would be a very positive. So let's see from the angle of thing from a narrow negative angle. Obviously, always nothing, fishy if you want to think it. So we are very sure that this relationship can be a win for the group.
What is the outlook for trade? There's a trade deficit, obviously, with Pakistan, with the U.S. You mentioned minerals. It would be quite a major outlook if that would happen. That would also be a huge credit for both countries. Obviously, politically and politically, are you? Is there signs that you're close to some trade deal and a mineral deal?
I think we're very close to finalizing the U.S. Our teams have been here in Washington discussing and virtual meetings, and a committee has been tasked by the Prime Minister to fund you now. I think I mentioned it's not going to be months, but not even weeks, over days that we would come up. So this is one side. But the potential for the US and the US business entrepreneurs is huge. You see, a country with external debt of only $130 billion, a percentage much better than US debt GDP, much better than UK, much better than Japan. But they have 70 markets. Either to finance their external benefit, they simply afford paper. And it's more. So you see, we believe that the potential Pakistan has in IT, in AI, in mines and minerals, and by the way, the most conservative estimates of Pakistan's mines and minerals and the natural resources is $6 to $8 billion. The record is one. I'm glad that United Bank is looking more and is ready to finance the US entrepreneurs or visually models. So this block, the first study which says Pakistan is likely to be the fourth biggest offshore gas country. So we have advertised 40 blocks. Most welcome. Let the American, investors and entrepreneurs come and start explorations. So we want, we are not afraid. We are open and want our friends, American, there are dozens of multinational companies of US which have, decades-old business setups in Pakistan. To name few, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble. There's so many. So I think the great potential is a positive for the summit. You see, we reached as a portion cycle. We reached by 2017. 2017 Pakistan was a macroeconomic unstable country. These natural resources are not highlighted in the way these have been now. And we had a serious problem. By 2017, we not only faced macroeconomic indicators, economic indicators were fine, inflation was below 3.59, both 6.3, highest forex reserves, and the 24th global economy in the world. Unfortunately, what we call natural, we all know COVID, natural and human pandemic in Pakistan. I add the human pandemic because it was best ending in the next 2022 Pakistan economy. And we landed as 47 decline from 24 to 47 and global economy. So this government is committed to take it back. So while we have stabilized the economy, now we are working for the growth and take the economy now towards the right direction. So there's great potential for friends, American friends who look into Pakistan market.
Tariffs are a great threat right now from the governments and ministers who come to Washington. Are you optimistic? Can you forecast? Is the tariff for Pakistani goods not going to go up to 27%? Do you have
I can't predict, but I know we are better than equal peers. We should be compete with the peers. And the peers, we have seen what tariffs are there. So perhaps we will carefully watch the announcements. Few haven't done. They're so far not everybody. So this is a sovereign status that takes all decisions. It's a policy. It's a big policy move. You haven't seen this sort of approach. The formula was very innovative. You are calculating the trade deficit by excluding the services. And the chartered government love that formula because you really find these such formulas in normal maths.
I'm going to switch to domestic politics in Pakistan, unfortunately.
Sure.
You don't like this question. Sure. As you know, 2 years ago, Imran Khan was arrested. He has a very significant level of support in your country and abroad as well. And there are
मोहम्मद सादात की अटलांटिक काउंसिल के तमाम तकरीब में गुफ्तगू उनका कहना था कि पाकिस्तान बहुत ज़्यादा पाकिस्तानी से मुताल्लिक़ है और हमेशा से अमन चाहता है और पाकिस्तान तनाज़ात का पुरअमन हल भी चाहता है। उन्होंने मज़ीद कहा कि अमेरिका ने पाकिस्तान भारत सीज़फायर में अहम किरदार अदा किया है और पाकिस्तान की के दरमियान किरदार अदा करने को भी तैयार है। पाकिस्तान सियासी ग्रुप या किसी ब्लॉक का हिस्सा नहीं बनना चाहता है। गज़ा की सूरत हाल के हवाले से कहा कि इंतहाई संगीन बुजुर्ग है और दो रियासती हल ही अमन का वाहिद रास्ता है और महंगाई की